If you haven't heard this beat already, well, I'm not even sure why you clicked on this, because you probably already have. It's just about one of the most famous drum beats ever recorded. I'm gonna break everything down for you guys. This is a monster lesson. So we're gonna go over the hand patterns, the coordination, how to get the timing and speed correct, hand technique involved in making the dynamic shape of this beat feel right and get it up to speed, and all the rest of the coordination and patterns along the way. Let's jump right in. Now, if you haven't already watched Jeff Porcaro's video from his old instructional VHS that breaks this down, first of all, go watch that and come back here, because it's really worth seeing how the master himself plays this beat. Now, Jeff based this beat off of the very famous Purdie halftime shuffle. Make sure you go and listen to Home at Last by Steely Dan, where Bernard Purdie plays the halftime shuffle, and it's just a masterclass in groove and feel and how to get this beat to really feel right. I'm gonna break down step by step what you need to do to get good at halftime shuffles in general, and then learning the specific patterns of Rosanna. First things first, you need to get really, really comfortable playing the hand pattern for the halftime shuffle. And that's going to be right, left, right as every triplet, with one extra note in a moment. But you need to get used to this idea of right being the first partial of the triplet, left being the second, and right again being the third note of the triplet. So you're gonna have a double note from the third back to the first. Getting that fast and comfortable is a really key ingredient. And here's what it looks like, including the dynamics you should play it with. Now I'll add my kick to the beat so that you can hear where the one is. That way you see where each hand lines up along with the beat. The next thing you want to do is learn to adjust your dynamics. And I wasn't even playing it at the extremes that you should. The left hand has to be whisper quiet. Try to get it an inch away from the drum at the very, very most. The lower, the better, even less than that. But to start, you shouldn't be more than an inch away from the snare drum with your left hand for those notes. Now, the right hand, we want a stronger note on the downbeats, and then those upstrokes on the top of the hi-hat are going to be lighter. That said, you really want both of these notes to be quieter, but you do have that emphasis where there's a dynamic flow to everything. Da 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 da. Rather da 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 da. We want that flow between the loud and soft notes. Here's a bit faster for you. So the next thing you want to do is you need to add the backbeat on the third beat. That's with your left hand as a rim shot. And this is where things get really tricky to coordinate and get really clean. So we're going to slow this way down. What you can do, and what I recommend you do, is spend a good week just playing this with your hands until it's absolutely second nature and you can do it in your sleep. Get the timing really clean and make sure that you have that double left that you see below really feeling comfortable. So here's that on the kit. Spend a week, spend 2 weeks just drilling that with a metronome until it's second nature, and you start to then speed it up and it stays in time. You really want to make sure that you have both your hands together on the third beat, completely together, no flaming whatsoever, followed by a quieter note with your left hand after that. Here's that a little faster. And a little faster. The final thing I want you to pay attention to when you're working on your hands for this pattern is being hyper aware of your dynamics and how it makes this beat feel. And that's going to come in play later as you put everything together with the kicks, but we're going to go over it now. And that is getting, like I said before, your left hand absolutely as quiet as possible. And you really want to, this is hard, get the rim shot strong, followed by that ghost note afterwards, and have that ghost note be very low. So what I teach in my technique courses on my website is the idea of a control stroke, where you play a stroke, but you do not let it rebound. You stop it as close to the head as possible. Here's a rebound stroke like normal. And here's that control stroke where I'm stopping the stick like as close as humanly possible. That allows you to get that ghost note immediately after an accent and have it be the dynamics that you intend to. And then what you start to do is you control playing accents followed by ghost notes and get it up to speed in time. And of course, do it with your left hand. We're talking about your left hand here. So you're going to do that with rim shots followed by ghost notes and control it all very carefully. So here is that nice and slow, really focusing on the dynamics of your left hand. If you play the left hand too loud, you get this offbeat feel. It doesn't flow forwards in terms of groove anymore. And you get this also double effect on that 3 where you just hear ba-da too loud instead of it being a hit followed by movement. If you're playing it too loud, it would probably sound something like this. That's pretty much the secret to getting it to sound like the records, is getting those left hands extremely quiet. Okay, let's talk about your kick drum now. So you want to practice placing your kick in a number of places on the beat. Now, again, I eventually stress practicing placing your kick in all sorts of places, including wherever your left hand is, but that's definitely a bit more advanced and difficult to play. Honestly, I've never even heard it on one of these shuffle beats on a record. So we're going to just practice placing your kick drum on any possible right hand note within that pattern. So you should be able to place it on the 1, 2, 3, and 4. You should be able to place it on the us. You should be able to place your kick on any of the upbeats, which is the second right hand that leads back into the downbeats. You should also be able to play both right hands together. Here's the first 2 examples. I'll play the downbeats and then I will play the upbeats. Really take your time and practice that beat slow so you can eliminate any flames between your kick and hi-hat. And get comfortable then adding the backbeat back in. That's a funny sentence to say, backbeat back in. Get it comfortable with that as well so that you can place your kick drum anywhere while you have that extra left hand note. Now finally, you should be able to hit both right hands with your kick. So I'm going to place that in a couple of spots for you, and of course you'll also be able to play along with the notation below. Notice how I'm breaking these patterns down into very tiny 3 and 6 note patterns where I just play the same thing over and over again until I have it clean. So really make sure that you're slowing things down, breaking it into smaller pieces that you can then zero in on and play until they're perfect. Okay, so now we're just about ready to play the full beat. The kick drum rhythm has a lot of forward momentum, which is really fun. If you sing it, it's something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, 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 da, do, do, ba, do, ba, do, 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 ba, and 1, 2, do, do, da. So here's the notation of the kick drum rhythm, and I'm first going to play it just against the right hand for you so you can hear that. Actually, I got to listen to the song for a split second before I demonstrate it for you, just to make sure I have it right. Also, I'm not sure if the kick leads into the 1 on that last note or not, so I'm going to play it that way some of the time, and you'll see the notation with it, but I can't guarantee that that's exactly what's on the record. Nonetheless, you're going to be able to play right along and crush it. Now with the left hand, nice and slow. Finally, all you got to do is take that with a metronome and play it as slow as possible for as long as possible. Do it for 2 straight weeks if you have to. Once you have it faster and really clean, you can then hone and dial in dynamics and you have the full beat. All you got to add to it is that nice fill that Jeff adds at the beginning, da-da-ba-boom, da-da-boom, boom, da, which is just 2 snare hits and a kick note leading into the 1. So that sounds like this. Your final takeaway today should be that this is just a jumping off point for playing shuffles, playing triplet grooves, and having a ton of fun with it. So make sure you continue to explore any ideas that you think up with along the way. If you think up something like, oh, I wonder what happens if I hit my hand over on this drum or place it on this part of the beat, stop, slow it down, and see if you can turn it into something really cool. On that note, you can find some great breakdowns of shuffle ideas and new exciting patterns within this halftime shuffle context, all on my website. So hit the link in the description and it'll take you right to it. I will see you guys in the next episode.